Good morning, everyone. My name is Kent McCusick, the minister serving this fellowship. My pronouns are he and him. Welcome to everyone coming from your living rooms this morning. Thanks for joining us. And thank you to everyone in Fellowship Hall who is joining us this morning as well in person. Thanks for signing up in advance because this is just another layer of care and protection for all of us. For those at home, please put yourself on speaker mode for the best possible visual experience and to mute your microphone. So it is great to have you here, whether you are joining us from home or coming here this morning. Our service today is called the Second Marathon. We'll begin every week with the ringing of our chime 3 times. Once to wake the chime, once to open our minds, and once to open our hearts.
In the world of the driven, let us be drawn in. Let your love be a given, let us be drawn in. To imagine, to dream, to create, to redeem, for the sake of the living, let us be drawn in.
Our chalice lighting words this morning are by Tanya Marquez. Vines cross and intertwine themselves on a tree trunk. It is a wonder and mystery that our paths have crossed. That in the immensity of time and the vastness of space, we coincide here. I am in awe at the ways in which our lives intersect and intertwine, at the beauty we create when we're together. May our coming together make us more compassionate, more just, more caring, and more loving. May our hearts and minds be open to this offering. I am so glad you're here. Let us marvel at the miracle of being here right now and the mystery that brought us together. Is What Will You Make by Leah Morris.
At the start of any given day, there is mystery available. There is a game waiting for an open heart to say yes. Here I am, I'll play. And if we're smart, we'll listen to the way, and all the misery that held us down, we'll let it fade. Let it be outshined by a simple spark of a light that's waiting to be made. It's waiting to be made. will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you will make? At the start of any given day, there is history and poetry. There is a play, but you're not in the audience. You are the star. So get out there and say what you will make. What will you make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? What will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide just what you will make of this day? What will you keep? What will you change? What will you see? And what will you believe? What will you make of your dreams? Will you keep sleeping, or will you awaken and decide what you will make?
Thank you, Leah. Felt like she was singing just to me. I don't know if that felt the same for you. I'm Sarah Carlson from the Sunday Services Committee, and the reading this morning is called Fear by Khalil Gibran. Fear. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled, from peaks of mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. Because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean.
Our time for all ages this morning is called Is, Was. Is written and illustrated by Deborah Friedman, and this book explores the nature of change, both big and small.
Is, was. This sky is the same sky that was blue, but now is spilling down this rain. Is. was, was, was. The same rain that was drips is now for sips, and song is, was. Where singing was, a buzz is, was, sunshine is, was. A shadow is. Quiet is. But listen, the earth's heart beats. Was. Was. Blue is, blue was. Still, this sky is the same sky that was. For you and everyone you've loved who is or was. That is our time for all ages.
The December recipient of our offertory is the Boone Area Humane Society, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the humane treatment of animals. They follow no-kill principles and strive to educate the public and increase community involvement, rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome animals, and create a path to population control. For your offering gift this morning, after the service, please go to the UUFA website, look for the Giving tab, and you can make your offertory gift to the Boone Area Humane Society there. Or if in Fellowship Hall you'd like to leave some cash or check, there's a basket to the left of the door as you leave this morning. Thank you for your generosity. Each week, we take time in our service to share milestones, significant things that are taking place in our lives that bring us joy or challenge or gratitude. We do this in two parts. First, the folks in Fellowship Hall are welcome to come to the microphone, lower your mask, introduce yourself, and share your milestone, and I'll light a candle for you. Once we're finished in Fellowship Hall, and there's a slight shift in instructions this week, for those of you at home, please watch your chat, because we will put a message in chat saying that we're ready for you to begin. We understood and discovered the glitch last week. So watch your chat, and as soon as you see that we're ready, please introduce yourself and you'll be on the screen. So I'd like to open the milestones this morning because we have a milestone moment. We're welcoming 2 new people into membership this morning, Molly and Ray Lee, who I would like to invite you to come forward. And Molly and Ray, it is a joy to formally welcome you into our community of memory and hope. Will you journey together with us, sharing the joys and responsibilities of membership? If so, please say, I will.
I will.
I invite you into membership with the UU Fellowship of Ames. Please take a moment to introduce yourself to those gathered here and at home. And after you introduce yourself, please sign the book right here.
Well, thank you so much. It's really good to be here. I'm Molly Lee. Actually have been in Ames for a while, moved here in 2009 to start veterinary school and have been here mostly ever since, with a little bit of time away in Kansas to practice. I currently work as an associate director at the Center for Food Security and Public Health at the veterinary school, where I work kind of at the interface of human and animal health. And in my spare time, like to enjoy our small acreage north of Ames, where I try to keep track of horses, chickens, vegetables, and a variety of other things. So thank you for welcoming us to your group. I'll sign and then turn it over to Ray.
I'm Ray Lee. I moved here a couple years after Molly did because I had to finish up my undergraduate work at Michigan State. And then, yeah, I've had the same sidetrack to Kansas and then came back. And I am a farrier or a horseshoer. I also work as an orthotic and prosthetic technician, and I'm currently studying to become an orthotic prosthetic practitioner. Thank you very much for welcoming us into your fellowship, and yeah.
I'm going to light a candle of celebration. And let's welcome them into membership. Welcome. We will have a big celebration of all of our new members once we are more fully open. But this has been a real joy this morning to welcome you. If there are other milestones, I would invite you to come forward to the microphone and introduce yourself. I invite this group to breathe.
I would like to go ahead and start from the virtual world. My name is Allison Brundy, and I've been a member of the UU for a number of years, the UUFA. Currently, I am also a member on the City of Ames Supplemental Input Committee for the creation of an Ames Climate Action Plan. And I actually represent faith communities in Ames. So I have been getting a lot of really great feedback from members of the UUFA. And I just wanted to remind everyone that December 10th is the last day that people can fill out the survey that is online to give feedback to City Council and the mayor and let them know that you really are supporting and encouraging them to make a climate action plan for the city of Ames. So that's very exciting and something that we've been working on for a while. So thank you to the UUFA for all the support. Thank you.
This is Stasha Rogers in Oklahoma City, and I don't know, can you guys hear me? I can't tell.
Yes.
Yeah, Thank you, Allison. I just wasn't seeing myself on camera. Anyway, but I just wanted to share that I am having shoulder surgery. It's a minor surgery, but it's this Tuesday. And I just want to share that with the community here and just ask for prayers for speedy healing and smooth sailing with my surgery. So thank you so much, and I'm finished.
Milestones that we hold silently in our hearts. Know that whatever brought you here today, whether you're joining us from your living room or joining us in Fellowship Hall, whatever brought you here today, whatever you're holding in your heart, know that you're in a community of love. There's no need to make this journey alone, and you are loved. Let's be together in a moment of silence. It's good to be together.
The Path by Lynn Unger. Life, the saying goes, is a journey, and who could argue with that? We've all experienced the surprising turns, the nearly impassable swamp, the meadow of flowers that turned out not to be quite so blissful and benign as we first thought, the crest of the hill where the road smoothed out and sloped toward home. Our job, we say, is to remain faithful to the path before us, which is an assumption as common as it is absurd. Really? Look ahead. What do you see? If there is a path marked out in front of you, it's almost certainly laid down for someone else. The path only unfolds behind us, our steps themselves laying down the road. You can look back and see the signposts, the ones you followed and the ones you missed. But there are no markers for what lies ahead. You can tell the story of how you forded the stream or got lost on the shortcut that wasn't, how you trekked your way to courage or a heart. But all of that comes after the fact. There is no road ahead. There is only the walking.
Our special music this morning is hymn number 86, Blessed Spirit, of My Life by Shelley Jackson Denham, covered by Michael Tacey.
Blessed Spirit of give me strength to stress and strive. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with vision, clear my mind of thoughts will restlessly. Let peace find out in me. Spirit of great wisdom, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I know what those in me. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. When face down with me, let love be my receive. Fill me with vision, clean my mind and clear. My thoughts go restlessly. Let peace find in me.
When we closed the fellowship building 19 months ago, I believed that we were just closing for a few weeks until the virus passed. I was dumbfounded by the UUA recommendation that we close for a year. Nonetheless, the staff, the board, all of you and I launched into full, intense fellowship marathon mode to engage in ministry in ways that none of us had experienced or been prepared for. Our mantra became, the building is closed, but the fellowship remains open. It felt good to do something productive that held some of the community together, but virtual fellowship life did not work for everyone. As a community, you and you all reached out to each other by phone, by email, handwritten letters, meeting outside, wearing masks and distancing. The same fellowship life exists in new and different ways. Was. In the new ways of fellowship life, everything takes longer and requires more effort to accomplish. The staff, the board, many of you and I are all stressed and tired. Our emotional, spiritual, and physical health has mirrored the peaks and valleys of infection rates, and we were feeling so hopeful last summer. With a gradual, intentional, and safe reopening of the building when the latest variant of COVID-19 started to spread. Like the river flowing into the ocean, there is a weighty vastness ahead of us, uncertain and fearful. We can look back at fellowship life before the pandemic or during 100% virtual fellowship life, but we cannot go back. We can only go forward in our not knowing. We must go forward, even in our moments of fear. Lynn Unger reminds us that it is our job to be faithful to the path before us, even though there is no clear road or path ahead. There is only our agreement to continue the journey together, calling each other on. And it is in this calling each other on and in our promise to make the journey together where we find joy. As Shelley Jackson Denham wrote in UU hymn number 354, we believe in life and the strength of love, and we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give, we have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is the answer. Was. Is. Reverend Jenny Smith recently wrote an article called The Second Marathon. She reflects on the quintessential changes that all religious institutions are experiencing. And she names for all of us where we are at this moment. We are tired. On a soul level, this is systemic exhaustion. She points out that the oppressive thing about capitalism and consumerism, and even white supremacy culture for that matter, is our utter inability to listen to our need to rest. Her brother successfully runs and recovers from marathons after significant training and preparation. And like her, I feel depleted after a brisk walk, and I can't imagine a marathon. Maybe you can't either. But she invites us to reconsider that not knowing when she says, well, maybe my soul does know that feeling. Maybe yours does too. We just ran a marathon. We closed our doors to in-person worship. We figured out online worship, maybe, kind of. We received email after email from frustrated congregants. We felt the brunt of unprocessed grief in our communities. We tried to continue as many ministries as we could sustain. We dreamed up new ones. We crashed and burned. We wondered if giving would continue. we became video chat professionals. We spent hours looking at blank screens, summoning sermons to write themselves. We ached with isolation. We spoke hope and grace and possibility. We questioned our call to ministry. We agonized over the safest ways to return to in-person gatherings. We took a few days off here and there, trying to find solid ground to rest on. We smiled on camera as if we could stir our hearts to life with our own pleading. And we received grace and stunning kindness from people in our communities. We watched other organizations look like they had it together, but we guessed they didn't either. Reverend Smith describes the cusp of where we are today and gives us some compelling and important advice. I'm going to share a substantial piece of her article because I think it's important. Then we began to gradually open our doors again. We crossed the finish line. We made it. We did a hard thing. Then, instead of collapsing at the finish line in a heap, instead of drinking water, instead of resting our aching bodies, something else happened. An official-looking race organizer slapped another number on our back and pushed us towards another starting line that mysteriously appeared. Wait, what? A second marathon? Right now? Why? Because our world doesn't know how to stop. Unless a global virus shuts down the world. White supremacy pushes and coerces and manipulates into productivity and results. Consumerism causes people to demand their preferences, and tired pastors and staff to oblige. Capitalism relies on resisting rest and driving our bodies for the bottom line. These forces celebrate when we ignore what our souls whisper. I don't have a magic next step for my community today, but I do know this. As the gears come to life in our faith communities, we have the opportunity to tell the truth, to slow the pace, and to question everything as we enter the new normal. Yes, our second marathon has begun, ready or not. Problem is, our bodies are still recovering from the first marathon. Maybe the answer is to stop running the second race. What if we looked at each other and gently nodded, slowed our forced jog, and started walking together? What if we walked our second marathon, side by side? No racing, no competing with anyone or anything. Resting when it's time to rest, saying yes to a new idea when it glistens with possibility. Saying no when something feels too heavy. Asking new questions in places we assumed the old answer. Giving others permission to rest because we choose rest. Questioning the speed at which we live and move. Loving each other with beautiful boundaries in place. Taking a nap. Breathing deeply of grace and love and restoration. Maybe this is how we disrupt the deeply ingrained oppressive realities of our world. We choose to walk together. I imagine love will surprise us again. Is, was, is. Amen. Blessed be. Our closing song today is We Laugh, We Cry by Shelley Jackson Denham, as sung by the UU Baltimore Choir. At home, I invite you to sing along with the lyrics. Here in Fellowship Hall, you're welcome to hum quietly.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to hold us and belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But first of all, we give thanks, we will again be home, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found the need to be together. We have our hearts to give, we have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us, every feels the special flow. We see time's endless journey as we march along every road. We thrill to hear congratulation freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and lives to the Spirit of His child, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found the time to be together, and with the grace of each, we share the wonder of youth, and we believe that growing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder, and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with grief. But as we live, so shall we die, and when our lives have done, the memories we share that will linger on and on, and we believe in life and in the strength of God, and we have found the place to be together. We have the right to run, we have the gift to believe that this will be our day. Is we seek the proofs and answers to questions of this life. We seek to put an end to all the wisdom is life. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to be steps of what we want. And your strength to peace, bringing the Lord will be seen, even to perish down to thee, risen
As I extinguish the chalice this morning, I offer the words of Wayne Arneson, who wrote, "Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, and the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone." Sometimes it takes a little magic to get the chalice out because it wants to keep burning. So now that it's out, it's up to us to carry that flame out into the world. This morning, we honor our 75th anniversary with a greeting from someone that many of you know, Reverend Dr. Linda Barnes.
Hello, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Ames, Iowa. I am Reverend Linda Barnes, formerly Linda Barnes, member of the fellowship in Ames, Iowa. I welcome you to the fellowship that I now serve in Plymouth, New Hampshire. And I had to put on the stole to talk to you because you'll see in this stole images from the quilts that hang in the sanctuary in Ames. I have such phenomenal memories of visiting the fellowship when I was a grad student at Iowa State, and Sydney Morris, Reverend Sydney Morris, was I was in awe of her preaching. And I remember before the sanctuary, I think that's what you call it, before the current structure was what it was, if you arrived late, you had to, and there was a chair still in the area where you tend to have coffee, and you got it when you looked at the pulpit or the podium. There was a beam right there. You couldn't see. There was a pillar, and I always was late, and I always got this one spot where you couldn't see. Carol Habakoski, Reverend Carol Habakoski, was more of a mentor to me than I think she knows. It was instrumental, and on the Sunday morning program committee, which is always where I wanted to be. It was the committee I wanted to be on, and I was on it for years. And I was nurtured by them and found my voice there. Brian Esslinger, Reverend Brian Esslinger, was so phenomenally just mellow in those groups and open to ideas, and he was really very nice to us. And I remember being asked to teach RE, and I found myself reluctant because it would pull me away from Sunday mornings, which is really where I wanted to be. And I am so very grateful for all the people who did volunteer to do RE so that my children would receive such great, tender, loving care in the hands of those of the fellowship. And I was on the search committee that brought Kent, Reverend Kent McCusick, to your door. And he remains my colleague. I am so very grateful for that. And really, what I wanted to say was a very happy 75th anniversary. I can't believe it's 75 years. May there be many more. Take very good care.
Thank you for being with us this morning. It's been a pleasure to be with you, to share part of this Sunday morning. And as we complete our time together this morning, remember that Your gifts can be received at the UUFA website on the Giving tab for the Boone Humane Society and other initiatives that are important to this fellowship. Thank you again. I wish you a wonderful week.